Okay. We're sitting down with David Cook, and your new album is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, technically at midnight tonight. How are you feeling about that?
I'm ready for it. I think I'm just ready for Wednesday morning, I think, more than anything. I know that we're pretty busy the next couple of days trying to get this record out. So I think after a year and a half of working on it, I'm ready just to have it be out. You know what I mean?
Did you feel good the amount of time you took? Because a lot of people just keep rushing these albums out. Like, do you feel good about taking the amount of time you took to do it?
You know, I think I worried about it for a very fleeting moment, and then it was like, you know what? I don't want to rush this record. I would rather take the time to make a record that I'm completely 100% proud of, and have it not sell a copy than make a record that I can't stand. And, you know, it sells 10 million copies, I guess. To me, it's just, I'm more concerned with what I'm putting out there than how quickly I'm putting it out there, I guess.
Do you think you've got more time to write? Was that what you were focusing on? And
just more time to have a complete vision for the record. You know, I wanted this record to have to be able to hold a very particular place in the marketplace. You know, and have something to say. But really just be, you know, a cohesive idea from start to finish.
Did you go into it trying to like create a theme? It seemed like it has a very theme throughout it.
Yeah. You know, I think this record came from just a period of my life. You know, I got off the road off of my first record, and all the experiences that I'd taken, you know, from that, like whether it be like the amazing things of like, okay, for the first time in my life, my job is to travel the world and play guitar. It's pretty rad. You know, going to the Philippines, going to the Middle East. You know, those are moments that carry a lot of weight for me. You know, and then you flip that with things like, you know, my brother passing away, and then trying to like shelve those while we're on the road so that I can focus on making sure that the people that bought a ticket are getting the show that they deserve. And then, you know, got off the road and all that stuff kind of came off the shelf, and I was sorting through it while we were conceptualizing and writing this record. And yeah, and that's the kind of vibe that it really took. You know, I just really started getting to this point where like sleep was my only time where I could just kind of shut my brain off, and then you start thinking, all right, well, when you're sleeping, you're actually like your brain's firing on all different sorts of cylinders, and you're able to create this entire reality for yourself in that 7 to 8 hours of your sleep. And I just felt like that was kind of an interesting kind of romantic thing to talk about.
And what made you put like the music box to start it?
I remember when I was a kid, I had this. I don't remember. It was like a wind-up doll thing or whatever. You know, you wind it up and it would play kind of that
eerie like
almost
music,
like that children's piano thing, and that would like help put me to sleep. Now, you know, as you get older and you watch horror movies and stuff, it all takes this real sinister twist. But
it's funny how it seems scarier, like
now.
Yeah.
A little haunting, which is also a good thing. I wanted this record to be something that kind of grabbed a hold of you, you know, and really almost made you pay attention. You know what I mean? But yeah, the kind of the children's piano part thing in the beginning is meant to be almost it's not a lullaby, but almost kind of that kind of sense. You know, like, okay, it's just we're calming down, we're gonna go to sleep, and then the rest of the record happens.
Well, speaking of the rest of the record, okay, so you mentioned the sad passing of your brother, and I feel like "Permanent" was probably your most personal song on the first album. And so he did pass while you were working on this. Do you have anything that personal on this album?
You know, I really I towed that line really carefully because I never wanted to come across to anybody like I'm bastardizing my brother's death, because that's the last thing I ever want to do. And so I made more of a conscious effort not to blatantly write about Adam on this record. I think Adam, well, I know Adam would want, you know, this record to succeed or fail on its own merits, and not because, you know, of some story associated with the song or whatever. But I will say, there's no one song about him, but I think that sense of loss and coping with that and finding both sides of loss, really, you know, the hopeful side and obviously the awful side, you know, I think that kind of permeates itself throughout the entire record.
Would you say there's one song that's like closest to your heart or like the most personal?
You know, it's hard to pick one because I feel like all of them really represent, you know, this moment in time for me, just trying to sort everything out. You know, I spent 25 years living life a certain way and preparing for the rest of life a certain way, and then I've been trying to like rewire my brain for the last 3 years. So
Well, it's a different life, like all the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, you know, I just remember it's just everything. Like all of a sudden, I've got to think about everything differently, and I'm still playing catch up mentally. But I don't know. I feel like as far as this record and these songs, they all kind of share, I guess, a special place for me.
Well, what would you say? So the name of the album is This Loud Morning, and then you released an acoustic thing for the fans called This Quiet Night.
Yeah.
So what made you do that? You wanted to give to your fans something acoustic? I know This Quiet Night's in a little acoustic extra something.
Well, you referenced earlier how much time this record took, and I while I didn't stress about it, I was cognizant of it, and
your fans have been, I'm sure, dying for new music.
Extremely patient, you know. Like you said, in an industry when everybody's just like, okay, here's a new record, and 3 months later, here's a new record, and here's a new record. I felt like my fans deserved something for their patience and their continued support, and so we just we tried to put out as many special things as we could, and really make them feel like it was worth the wait. You know, I think the acoustic EP is just. It was just an interesting spin for us. You know, we went into the studio and tracked all these songs live, and so it's like trying to just trying to create something a little special for the audience.
And I feel like fans love acoustic when they can get it because it's like you can clearly hear like just your voice and the quality of your voice without the band.
You know, and it is fun for us because it allows us to really rely on our musicianship to the utmost degree. You know, like tracking it live, and then it gives these songs a bit of a new life. You know, and you know, when we run them acoustic and we get that tight, then we bring that back to the full band, like plug everything in and go. It really gives clarity to those as well. So there are all sorts of like rhymes and reasons to why we did both of them. But
well, like I said, one was called This Loud Morning, and the acoustic side is called This Quiet Night. What would you say has been your loudest morning, and what's been your quietest night?
Actually, yesterday was probably one of my more quiet nights. I slept like 12 hours straight. It was awesome. All the traveling we've been doing back and forth. Anytime I can get a good night's sleep, that's usually a pretty good quiet night. Loud mornings are, I imagine tomorrow's going to be a pretty loud morning. The Idol finale was a pretty loud morning. The last record release was definitely a loud morning. I got a lot of loud mornings. They outweigh the quiet nights, unfortunately.
Well, you mentioned the Idol finale. So when you go back to like Idol, is it like a big class reunion? Do you get to see like your Idol people like at different times?
You know, I managed to build really great relationships with a lot of the people behind the scenes at the show, and so I love going back. And that's fun every year. Like, you know, meet the new contestants, and in this case, you know, the new judges this last year.
What do you think of the new way the show is this year? Totally doing judges other than Randy.
I think the 2 new judges were a pretty good shot in the arm for the show.
What do you think you would have done this season?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I think just in the sense that like every season is different. So I don't know that I would have done as well as I did on any other season. I just think season 7 was just the right
season for you.
Me, yeah.
Well, you talked about how your fans have been waiting a long time for your music, and I saw an interview on MTV with Kris recently where they were talking about him working on his new album, and MTV was saying, don't make them wait as long as the David Cook fans have waited, and Kris Allen said, well, I heard David Cook's album and it's sick, so it's definitely worth the wait.
See?
And had you heard that comment, and do you get a chance to hear other people's like early music?
You know, this is where it gets weird. I've just never really been concerned with other people's expectations.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if I can make a great record and I can go out and play great shows, then all this stuff is necessary. And then if it doesn't, then it wasn't. And that's just, it's life. You know, I can't control other people's expectations. I can control my own, and I can guarantee you that 99% of the time my expectations are greater than theirs.
And it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah. So, and you know, I could have rushed this record in 6 months, and it wouldn't have been as good as I think it is. So.
And are you excited to tour again?
Absolutely. I think that's why that's really what keeps me going back to the well at this point. You know,
to get on the road.
You know, I'm a gut instinct guy, and so going into the studio and spending a year and a half, like it was necessary, but it's not like I enjoyed it all the time. It wasn't like I just went in the studio. It's like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here. I can't wait to just like spend the rest of my life there.
You missed
I wanted to get
live
the record
performing,
done, you know, so that I could play shows. So yeah, I think touring is what's going to keep me going back to the well long term. I think.
What are your plans for tour?
To play as many shows as possible. I think.
Do you have anything set up yet?
We're in discussions and stuff. Nothing that I can really give out just yet. But I know I just want to get out to as many people as possible. I know the last record, the landscape of the industry was so different. You know, this time we're doing like full-on one-off worldwide release. Everything's out at once, as opposed to kind of waiting and seeing what happens in international markets and all that. So hopefully we have more of an international push this time. In fact, I'm expecting it. You know, we can get out on the road and get on planes and buses and trains and whatever the hell.
Do you think you're gonna do something solo, or you might get on tour with someone?
I'd like to get on a tour with someone. I think you know, our fans are great, and we did 154 shows on the last tour, headlined every one of them. You know, I'm ready to kind of get this record out to as many new ears as possible as well. So, yeah, hopefully we can find a great supporting slot or go international and come back and try it then and see what happens. As long as we're playing shows, I'm happy.
Who are some bands you would love to tour with?
Oh God, that list is a mile long. Bon Jovi, Springsteen. I think Adele's new record is fantastic. Script, we did some shows with them on the last record. I'd love to get back on the stage with them. Our Lady Peace, Foo Fighters.
It's a lot of great people.
Big Ret gets back together. I'd like to do that. Silverchair gets back together. I'd like to do that.
Is there one city you've never been to you would love to go to? And is there a favorite city of yours to go to?
So far, my favorite city I've ever been to is Stockholm.
Really?
Sweden.
Never been there.
I did a week of writing there and fell in love with that city. And it was the middle of winter, so that should tell you something. So yeah, I would love to go back there. As far as where we haven't played, where I'd like to play, well, we didn't play Stockholm. I'd like to play Stockholm.
That'd be a call.
Yeah. I'll play anywhere. What the hell am I talking about?
Just to be on a stage with a guitar.
Yeah.
So yeah, the video for This Loud Morning, I loved. I feel like it's like you're watching a little movie. Did you like have a lot of input in that? And what did you think about your band acting it up?
I wanted a band in it. I think purely because I come from a band background, and so that's just where I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable in a band setting, and so I like that we can get them involved as much as possible. I thought my drummer did a fantastic job of passing out at the end of the video.
That was awesome.
He was a natural.
They strum up their big acting skills.
My poor bass player, we're going to send him some acting classes and try again later.
Did you have a lot of creative input into the ideas?
Yeah, actually, Nigel Dick came with this idea, kind of the structure of this idea. And, we kind of tweaked it, and I think the original one I was kind of in on the joke, and I didn't want it to be so like self-important, because I don't really take myself that seriously.
So it's kind of like that. In the video, do you think you didn't know that like you were just going off, and then like you had no idea that they thought you were gone?
Well, I remember talking to Nigel about it, and he was like trying to get into aspects of my character to figure out how to parlay the video, and he realized pretty quick, I don't remember what I did, but he was like, "You're pretty forgetful, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I commonly misplace stuff. Like, this is like my 5th pair of sunglasses in the last 3 months.
So you would know you would leave your wallet on the beach?
I would. I did my wallet, my jacket. I mean, I would have left it all there in real life. So it was just, I love when people are just like, "Why did you leave your jacket at the beach?" It's like, because I would do that. That's why,
It's not totally unheard of.
Yeah, and it was a fun video. I think the song itself is talking about like the end of a relationship, but I just didn't want to make the video like the generic like guy girl video.
And it was different. I felt like it was like kind of like a mini movie.
Yeah, and I wanted it to be something different. I want all my videos to be something different, because I think that's, if you do it right, it's just another way to bring people into what you're doing, and hopefully, you know, they embrace the song and then the record and then everything else you do. So those videos are a great tool if you can do it right.
Well, I heard this morning a rumor that "Take Me As I Am" is going to be your next single. Is that true?
What a fantastic rumor. We haven't decided. I don't
it's
think,
not true,
we haven't even started to have that.
I just read that this morning, that supposedly your second single is going to be "Take Me As I Am."
I think I know who. I think Scott, one of the guys I wrote it with, tweeted that. I don't know where.
Oh yeah, I think it was the person who wrote it.
I don't know where he got that from. So Scott, what are you doing? No, but.
So you're getting the fans excited.
But I do like that song, and if it ended up being the second single, then.
So you're still in talks of that?
Right now we're all still really happy with what Last Goodbye's doing.
Yeah.
It's a slow climb, but it's making progress at Hot AC, and
I've been hearing it.
As long as it continues that upward climb, we have no reason to change it out. So, yeah, I don't know what the next single is. I don't think anybody does.
So good that we can dispel that rumor.
Yeah, thank God. What other rumors can we dispel? Let's go.
That was the big one I had. What other rumors would you like to dispel?
I don't know.
What's the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
You guys always seem to hear about it before I do, so.
It seems always that we seem to be breaking news to the artists. It's like, I think with Twitter, what do you think of this whole Twitter thing?
I think Twitter is a double-edged sword. I think it's a great promotional tool, and obviously for people that don't have anything to promote, they're just using it more for personal use.
Right.
I think.
How do you
It's a great way to keep in touch. I try to use it as a bit of both. I don't want it to just be like a promotions calendar.
Right.
Because I want people to feel like they're actually talking to me and we're engaging and all that. So.
I think fans usually like when you I saw you broke your computer. I feel like they.
That sucked so bad. It was a rehearsal the day before we left for New York, so I had to rush over to the Apple store
and deal with the Geek Squad.
Yeah. I had to pay my mortgage to get it fixed. It sucked so bad.
But
well, it's not that funny.
I think.
You all right over there?
I started coughing and I tried to stop so I didn't make a noise, and it reacted.
Totally backfired.
Yeah.
My point of bringing that item up is that fans, I think, like to see personal side, something that happens in your day.
Yeah. Well, it was just like last night we were walking around New York. And I saw a mime talking on the phone in French. It's the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. Why wouldn't I want to share that with everybody?
That's what everyone wants to share when they run into a mime.
Yeah, you know? Not everybody gets to see a mime talking on the phone. That's pretty awesome.
Well, can we talk about your dog? Do you do that Twitter account, your dog?
No, let's dispel another rumor right now. I think I met who did it. I think I met who does it.
So it's a fan that does the double.
I think so. But I don't like that people think it's me and my brother.
I thought because at one point I thought it was you, but then at a time when they tweeted something, you weren't I don't think it could have been you, and then Michael, that must be his brother.
No.
It's not your brother.
No, it's a
good for dispelling another
big
rumor.
Conspiracy.
So it's definitely a fan.
Yeah.
I saw one yesterday.
I mean, I will say what I've read some of it, and some of it's funny. Some of it's funny, and it's not like I'm shut it down or anything. I don't care.
Right. But you don't want.
But I just don't want people to think it's Andrew and I.
Right.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, did you see that Fainted to Me was danced to on So You Think You Can Dance last week? Did you know about that?
I did. I knew that was coming at some point. I know we had been in talks with them, and
I was wondering if you guys know beforehand.
I didn't know when they were doing it. I know that we had they'd gotten it cleared and we'd signed off on it, and I was really happy with the way that all turned out. I thought
really cool.
I thought they did a great job with the choreography. It was beautiful. And I think, I'm really happy that they decided to use it. Any help we can get at this point is always
good promotion for the album.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Idol before, and how do you feel they keep saying this whole every year a WG wins, or guy with guitar?
Yeah.
What do you? And you guys are so different, and I feel like Scotty, they haven't called that because he's country and it's not pop rock.
I've seen it on him a couple times, but I think it's funny, but it's also a little insulting. I think just for the reason that you just
said. Yeah, he's not really a guitar player.
Different.
Yeah.
Well, and even if you were a guitar player, it's
But even
who gives a damn?
They seem to lump you, Kris, and Lee together because you're white guys that play guitar, but your music is so different. Does that bug you guys? Do you?
I can't speak for the other guys. It doesn't bother me in a sense of them lumping us together. I think it comes off as dismissive because it's not like it's used in a complimentary context.
No, but it's just put on their album and listen to it, and they're different.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bit dismissive. And I think it's unfair to, to all of us, really. Because, I mean, I know I work hard on the stuff that I put out, and I would wager to guess that all the other guys do too.
I'm sure you've heard their stuff and you know that it's totally different.
Yeah, I thought Kris's last record was incredible. I didn't think it got the attention it deserved. I think Lee's record was great. It didn't get the attention it deserved, but it's just, it is what it is. But I think lumping us all in together sells all of us short, because I know that we all work hard on what we're putting out. And I think if people listen to those records in conjunction, I think they'd find some more variety than they're giving us credit for.
Do you think the idol stigma is hard to break away from? Do you think you'd get a different reaction if you had been an idol and just had a record deal?
Maybe, but if people are calling me American Idol David Cook or David Cook or whatever, I've been called worse than both of those things, so I'm fine with either one.
And to help you get where you are.
Yeah. I have a platform. I have a job right now, so
you get to play music for a
I'm
living.
in good shape. Yeah.
So what would you say are 5 things that your fans wouldn't know about you, like any 5 quirky things? Like any pet peeves, any hobbies, any crazy guilty pleasures, 5 things that your fans don't know.
I actually, you know what? I did find out I have a pet peeve. I got a lot of pet peeves. Let's not joke around.
Well, you can get...
The one that I just recently found out, I was watching Man vs. Food, which is one of my favorite shows. I love that show. But when people, he was talking about some sandwich, and it was like, oh man, this is so great. It's got the roast beef, it's got this, it's got that, it's got the fresh mozzarella. And he said mozzarella with the accent, and it killed me. I don't know why he did that. But
that bugs you that they say?
I don't know why. But I was just like, why did he do that? And I spent the next 10 minutes like, did anybody else hear that? Why did he do that? So I don't know. There's just that one word. I have weird quirks.
What are some of your other weird quirks?
I had to chew cinnamon gum on stage.
Always?
If it's any other gum, it throws me off. I don't know why. Because
Really?
It's not like cinnamon gum does anything for me.
Why cinnamon gum?
I don't know. I think one night I didn't feel like I was particularly strong vocally, and the only thing that was available was cinnamon gum. And then after that, I started chewing the cinnamon gum, and then it felt, I guess maybe mentally it felt like I was singing better. I don't know. That was probably terrible, but.
What about do you have a weird hobby?
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I don't think any of them are weird.
What are some of your hobbies?
I like hiking. Actually, hiking. I don't know, I'm kind of a homebody, so I watch a lot of movies and play a lot of video games.
What are your favorite video games?
I just played LA Noire, which is really awesome. A lot of sports games, though.
So what do you like about hiking? Do you like the exercise or the views, or is there specific? It's going up to the mountains.
I just kind of like that it's a mental, I can turn the mental switch off and just walk, zone out. I walked around. There's a little city hiking yesterday. I ended up walking 5-6 miles around New York yesterday. It was great.
Did you do where'd you go? The whole island?
Me and my bass player and my sound guy, we tried to go shopping in Soho, and the parade was going on yesterday. So we got down around the parade, and
then
had to turn around and go back, and then the uptown subway was not running, so we ended up walking a lot, actually.
Sometimes walking the
city
is
just
just
fun.
fun,
Walked back up to
though.
Macy's, and then walked and grabbed lunch or dinner or something, and then walked back to the hotel. And
Did you get recognized a lot walking around the city all day?
I found out on Twitter I got recognized at Macy's, but other than that, I stayed pretty incognito.
So no one was like, David Cook.
It's one of the good things about this city is it's pretty easy to get lost.
That's what people say. You go to LA and they see people get bothered more. Do you get recognized in LA?
I don't get bothered too much in
Yeah.
LA either. Yeah, it's once I get out of LA and New York though is when I usually get more attention.
The smaller town.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Ooh. Well, pizza's a major one.
So it's like being in New York.
Yeah, pizza's everywhere. It's constantly beckoning me.
Do you have a TV show that you don't like to admit that you are addicted to?
No, I'm pretty proud of the shows.
What are some of your favorites?
I love House. I'm kind of bummed that this next season looks like it's going to be their last, and that Lisa Edelstein didn't come back.
She's joining The Good Wife, I read.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's obsessed with Lisa Edelstein, and she's leaving House to watch The Good Wife.
Yeah. Well,
Do you like any reality shows other than Idol?
I don't really watch too many reality shows, actually.
You're not a fan of the Kardashians, or?
No. No, I don't watch the Kardashians.
And who would?
I don't watch Paris's new show either.
I don't watch. What about the Real Housewives?
Definitely don't watch the Real Housewives. Or the fake Housewives.
Or any of the Housewives.
Yeah, I don't watch any of the Housewives.
Okay, last question. What would you say is your celebrity crush?
God, I'm so boring. I don't have one.
No one that you would love if you met? Ask out?
Christopher Walken. Why not? Yeah, I don't know.
What do you love about Christopher Walken?
I just love that anytime somebody does an impression of him, it's always hilarious. I've never heard a bad Christopher Walken impression. It's good.
That is really true, though. They crack you up like every time someone does one. Do you have one?
I don't have one.
You
I'm
do?
the only one with a bad one.
Well, I want to hear yours.
Oh God. Why did I say that? Now this is happening. Because now all I can think of is this guy at a bar one night. He told the story of the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but it was really vulgar, so I can't do it. Let's see. Let's go. Hey, you're talking to my friend all wrong. You do it again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron. That's all I got.
That's actually pretty good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I give props for that. And that's a...
As soon as I leave, she's like, you did the worst
No,
Christopher Walken impression.
I am the worst impressionist. People actually make fun of me here.
Oh, well.
Because I do the worst impression. So I give you props for that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, David.